probably about 30 minutes, hopefully 15 minutes of content before we have our guest on, which is Brandon Vance, who's running for Dallas City Council District 4, number one on the ballot. And I understand that there's 12 other people that are following him on that ballot because there's 13 people in that race for the city council seat that will be held to fill the unexpired term of the former Mayor Pro Tem of Caroline. So as we get everyone invited, and Young Strip on air is getting everybody invited, we're going to go ahead and do some housekeeping chores, if you will. I'd like to say a special shout out to the African American Museum where I was at last night, to be more precise, the Monticello exhibit, which is the exhibit that's going on from now until December 31st. You can't miss it. Didn't make it last night? Look at my Facebook and check that out. But above all else, support the African American Museum. It is a fine organization that needs our support. So I would want to go ahead and make sure that you spend some time in between all of the Fletcher's corny dogs and whatever fried foods that you're going to be eating that you shouldn't be eating. Go see the African American Museum and see the Monticello exhibit. But above all else, thank you for tuning in here on the Commiss Radio Show, where we are your social justice and political hotline of information. And Strip, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we continue to invite people to be here, to be part of our listening community today, because what we're going to talk about today is we're going to be talking about Botham Jean, Amber Geiger, and also Chief Renee Hall. I want to go ahead and say specifically that is my content that I will be talking about this afternoon. So we're ready? You got us all set on that?
We're ready. We're locked in.
You locked in?
Oh, yes, sir.
Locked in, loaded. That's not a good thing to say when we're just talking about the murder of Botham Jean. Locked in and loaded, and that's what exactly happened when we had a Dallas police woman to go into someone else's home and kill them. And this is the dilemma that we've had here in Dallas. So the dilemma, it shouldn't even be there. This should be pretty well open for everyone to see. First and foremost, Amber Geiger should be fired and terminated beyond a shadow of a doubt. Let me make sure I got this right for everyone to understand. Amber Geiger should be terminated right now, post haste. No, not post haste. If it was post haste, it would have already been done. There is no reason for this woman to be walking the streets right now, getting a paycheck, receiving a paycheck. Meanwhile, Botham Jean has lied in his casket. Meanwhile, social activists are trying to stir up the community, a community that has been moribund and dead for many, many years when it comes to social justice. We need to wake up. Now, this is to employ you on this hazy, rainy day to make a phone call in. And I said it last week. We're going to continue to say it. We're going to continue to hammer it. Make a phone call in to Chief Renee Hall. Make a phone call into your city manager, T.C. Broadnax. Make a phone call in to your Dallas City Council and Dallas City Council women. Make a phone call and make them do as they said and do the right thing when they said, hey, he went up to the mayor and he said, you know, Mookie, I want you to do the right thing. I want you to tell all of your city councilmen, if there's no better word than that, Mookie, do the right thing. Do the right thing. I want you to tell Chief Renee Hall, do the right thing. Chief Renee Hall is a person that was hired by the city manager. We have a problem with this volume. It says, someone said it could be his phone, so let's make sure we want to check that. So if anyone else has a problem with it, I have no problem. I can start it all over again because I remember what I said. So now let's go back again on this part that I was saying. Chief Renee Hall was hired by Chief Broadnex, by the city manager Broadnex, because she has ability to do certain things, and these certain things that she has to do has been known in the community as being somewhat failing as of late. And what I mean by failing as of late is there should be no reason why anyone should be walking the streets after they were part of a murder scene. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. A murder scene. Individual comes into someone's house that's not even theirs, that they proclaim that they thought was theirs. I don't see how you can go to an apartment. I lived in apartments before, and I know my apartment from anyone else's apartment because, number one, they put numbers on the apartment, so that's a clue already that you're in the wrong apartment. But once we get beyond that and we get to the stories that are being told, and the stories are changing, they're changing every day. We get to that part. There is something to miss. But what we do know is that she shot somebody. We know that Amber Geiger shot somebody. We do know that that person is dead. We do know these things. What we do know, and contrary to Chief Hall stating that she couldn't fire him, she can fire him. It's simple. It's called, I need to see you in my office, let me have your badge. That's what that's called. It's very simple. Now I know some people saying, Ed, man, you speaking all like this. You don't even know the situation at hand. The situation at hand is very simple. We know what happened in that. The process, we know the process as well. This isn't the first time Dallas Police Department has shot somebody. And anytime they shoot somebody and you have an internal affairs investigation, you can be terminated. This has happened. There have been other chiefs that have done this very same thing. The chief said she couldn't do it. Chief Bowman has done it. Chief Brown has done it. Chief Click has done it. Chief Kunkel has done it. They have all done it. Precedence has been set in this matter. We need to demand the Chief Hall to go ahead and terminate Amber Geiger. We need to demand that. It's hard being black. And the difficulty about it being black is that you have to be part of a unique club. And the club of being black is that you can't say anything bad about somebody else because you feel like it's a reflection upon yourself. We've often been told that we have to be twice as good as they are. And you know who they are. You know, I mean, it's a black-white thing. It's truly what it is. But this is not a black and white thing. It's a wrong and right thing. We have to hold Chief Renee Hall to the same guidelines that we would hold if the chief of police was a white male that was 56 years old that was placed in that situation that did not fire Amber Geiger. Everybody would be up and roar right now. Everybody would be up and roar. It would be, everybody would be up and roar right now. Now, it pains me to even have these words in the manner in which I'm coming today, very forceful in seeking the removal, the termination of Amber Geiger, because I'm putting out on Front Street, so to speak, what I consider to be a failed policy of the chief of police. And someone's going to say, man, you need to stick with the chief of police. You need to stick with her. She's black. She's a sister. Why are you doing her like that? I'm doing her like that because I love and respect her. I was on the search committee to help bring the chief of police here. So I'm not just saying this as I'm from the radio station, I'm just talking all this. I was on the search committee that literally interviewed 8 candidates to be our new police chief in Dallas. 8 candidates. It was 2 black women, 1 black male, and it was 5 European Americans. All of them qualified, but 1 received the job. As a social activist, I've asked the same questions and demanded the same answers from all of them, regardless of whether or not they were black or white or their age or what, whether or not they was an internal candidate or an external candidate. The dynamics of this is very strange in itself, but what we do know is that we need to hold everybody accountable. Everyone accountable, and this accountability starts and ends with the chief of police. We can't punt in a situation. All of the rumors that have been said about whether or not individuals knew each other, I'm not concerned about that. Whether or not the search warrant was a valid search warrant, I do want to go ahead and address that for a minute. Search warrant being a valid search warrant. The search warrant in Judge Brandon Birmingham has caught a lot of flack on that. A search warrant is normally done when there's a crime scene involved in Botham Jean. The crime scene that was a crime scene, so therefore it was a search warrant. Which leads me to believe again that if there's a search warrant, and also the Texas Rangers who were assigned to this case by the chief, that again I said she punted, she had the Texas Rangers to go ahead and investigate it. And personally speaking, I don't trust the Texas Rangers because they have done a poor, historic job in investigating. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and contact Miss Ville, who is Sandra Bland's mom. Talk about investigatory process, and when we talk about the process in which you can fire someone, precedence has always been set. The precedent has been set. The chief can do the firing. Don't let nobody fool you. It's been done before. But we as a community must demand upon the chief the same type of respect and the same type of forthwitness. And also, we must demand that they do the same thing that we would demand of anybody else. Chief Hall, you got to listen to the people. The people are demanding it, and we've already had past practice in which this can be done. Processes need to be held. You're part of the process, and part of that process is obviously making sure that Amber is terminated. She's part of an investigation, Chief. You gave that investigation to the Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers are now investigating whether or not one of your own killed somebody. It's part of the process. The district attorney's office is investigating this as well. You have a policewoman who killed somebody. That's part of the process. If it's part of the process, and it's been said many times before, not by myself, by other policemen, and I'm reporting right now, I saw the other day Pete Schulte, who's been a guest here on this show, has said as well that this can be done. And also part of the process as well, when we look back at what other police chiefs have done, that's what needs to be done. But most important of all, as one of the members of that committee that appointed the police chief, that would mean yourself, Chief. We all sat down and we looked at each other and we gathered around those small tables. And as we gathered around those small tables, we talked about how we would act when there would be a crisis and how crisis management was done. This crisis management that we encountered, it's been a failing moment for us. A failing moment for us here in Dallas. We can stop. If we find ourselves in a ditch, we need to stop digging a hole and making the hole worse than what it is and find a way to climb out of that ditch. And the way to climb out of that ditch and restore the credibility, because indeed the Dallas Police Department now has been turned into a Keystone Cop organization, because a simple thing of terminating a policewoman who killed somebody, who's now currently under investigation by state authorities, when a police chief can just push a button and demand that that policewoman come into their office and fire. This is long overdue. Do the right thing. And as a member of the committee that helped bring the police chief to Dallas, I'm deeply saddened behind that. And also, I remember the question I asked you, and I said, what will be your legacy? And you responded, the legacy that you had, you were living the legacy. You said your legacy was the fact that you were the daughter of a slain police. You nailed the interview with that. You walked out and we all said, that's going to be the new police chief. Sad to say today, the legacy is not probably going to be that. It's going to be the reaction or the lack of reaction in the Botham Jean murder, and the failed response to terminate Amber Guyger in a timely manner. To that, we can only say, stop digging a ditch, fire Amber today, do the right thing. Strip, let's go to a drop. We're out. Thank you guys for listening.
This is Dr. Jeffrey R. Mitchell, President of the South, on the baddest radio in the land for sports, news, entertainment, and what's going on in our community. Tune in to the commission, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Hey, this is Shucky Duck, and I listen to Ed Gray, better known as The Commish, on Fishbowl Radio. Check out the show every weekday, every Saturday from 3 to 5. You can hear some of the most outstanding topics, so don't miss it. The Commish, #jump in.